Right then, so we shall continue our exploration of Brackenbury and hopefully stay out of trouble. Don't think Fedoran can afford to part with any more coin. What on earth? A window here. Mortared stone wall is sheltered by the eaves. A knotty green vine climbs all the way up to an open window. 2 ornate shutters seem to beckon you in. How very bizarre. How very, very bizarre. We're going to leave for now. What did I say? Fedoran wants to keep out of trouble if he can help it. This may draw us in a bit another time.
Hey.
But right now, we'll just put it in the memory banks. Perhaps after a strong ale and a night's rest, we might be feeling a bit more adventurous. Okay, so this rather large looking building. Not quite sure what it is, but if it's open to the regular populace, we may have a look inside. If there's no signs, then we'll assume it's a residence and not bother entering. Appears to be a market stall. Couple of nobles.
Hey.
Nobody manning the stall. How very strange. It's a reasonable hour. Oh, look at this nice little water feature. So peaceful. Where's...
Hey.
Now, what is this place here? Is it somebody's house? Is it a public building? We don't really know. There's a statue outside. Again, we'll just excuse me, just avoid doing anything too risky for the rest of today's session. But I've got a feeling we may be a bit more explorative next time. And there's another building here. It's just kind of looking unassuming. Robed figures. Is this where we need to be? Indeed it is. The Sanitarium. Right, so we need to do this quest. Who are we looking for? Let's remind ourselves here. We are looking for... Well, we're looking for somebody who's an expert on awakenings. We may find them in here. So we've got to keep an eye out for somebody like that. And we're looking for a grimoire. Mordred. Can't even say it without Yorkshire accent. Mordred.
Hey.
Righty-ho then. She looks like a wizard. Perhaps she can offer some insight. Maybe she knows an awakening character, or who knows who Mordred is.
Well met, friend.
A woman stands in the shade of the garden, muttering to herself. She's fixated on the pages of a large and well-worn tome, seemingly oblivious to the blooming flowers and the cool, fragrant breeze. She only looks up when your shadow crosses her page. Do you mind? I'm rather busy. Oh, sorry there. What are you busy with? She snaps her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we still have a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. Stick? What do you mean, making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power bodies and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spate of soul-related ailments, including the Hollowborn. But if we understand how to reattach souls, we could end Widewin's legacy, maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the research I need to put into practice. I see. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pangram. It contains research from Pangram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumoured to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Is that not the thing I was looking for the Hall of Mysteries? I was looking for a scroll of some such. The theorems could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships Whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge, and since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that would be useful to me. Oh, well, I am sorry to hear that, yes. But why would we want to help this random woman? Yeah, I mean, it is her decision. Obviously, it's part of her temple philosophy. I mean, really not for me to meddle in them kind of affairs. That's what all of us scriveners say. She sighs. Anyway, I should probably get back to my work. But this is all talking about souls. Very intriguing, of course, to Fedoran. Asking her about these theorems. Perhaps if she might raise his interest in the theorems himself, he might be more inclined to perhaps pick them up. Such as? Well, what do you know about it? Pangram was an animancer working in the Deerwood. He had some interesting theories about essence and some rather innovative techniques for studying it. He was able to reattach souls to bodies after death, although he wasn't able to prevent his patients from degenerating. He was controversial, to say the least, but many are starting to realise that he was merely ahead of his time. Degenerating. You mentioned degenerating patients. What do you mean? She twists her hands together. Well, there seems to be a tiny problem with reattaching souls after death. The bodies will reanimate and may even retain memories and personality, but they develop a hunger for flesh. Living, soul-infused flesh. This is an interesting conversation. This is what's that Helig of Thane character. He talked about a hunger. He's reanimating all those bodies down there, all those revenants, to bloody eat them, isn't he? Interesting. It's very useful we stumbled across this woman. Without it, they start to devolve, decaying mentally and physically. If the process goes too far, which it eventually does, they become mindless corpses attacking anything that moves. We haven't figured out a way to avoid that. And you wonder why Grimda won't share this research with you? Yes, it has got an awful ring about it. It does sound like necromancy to me. Nonsense! Necromancy is magic. This is science. She emphasises the last word. Okay, so I assume we're inquiring whether or not she's actually spoke to Grimda here, or she's just assuming. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rather protective of its books, especially the rarer ones, and Grimda in particular. She hates animancy, thinks it's dangerous. I don't see how you can run the greatest library in the Deerwood and be so adverse to the spread of knowledge and research. But I've never understood these religious types. Alice scowls at the animancer. Some knowledge is best kept under lock and key. Well, okay, you've given me some food for thought, it must be said. Thank you. Should we ask her about herself? No. Right, the theorems of Pangram. What were we supposed to be retrieving? scroll. Okay, I don't think it's one of the same things, but perhaps if we... kind of torn here. You know, if we did a good favour for Grimdur, we could almost see it as if we could almost ask her for this theorem book as a reward kind of thing, almost like a swap. But then why would we want to give it to a random stranger to do all kinds of experiments with? I mean, it's very dark arts, very dangerous arts, all this soul nonsense. She's got the best of intention trying to solve this legacy issue. We'll have to think on it.
Hey.
We've got plenty of time, at least. But she has given us some useful information that helps us piece together what exactly is going on with Helig of Thane. And it makes us think that we don't want to help him. Two-sided. Aha! There you go. Okay, so we are going to find somebody in here that can help Aloth or set us on our way. Alright. So we're looking for 2 people in here. Maybe one of the same people, who knows? Now normally Fedoran would walk around these kind of places on his own, but given the nature of what's researched here and the type of characters we've stumbled across, perhaps we should go as a group. Who's in charge? We need to find somebody who looks to be in charge here. Is he talking to a statue? He's talking to
Just say the word.
statue. The statue is talking
Not
back.
a problem.
Most fascinating. Sorry to intrude. I can't help but hello? A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down and blinking over the bustle of harried academics, pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense from across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned toward you. Okay. It's not a complete shock to Fedoran, of course. His steward is very much of a similar ilk. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveller. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? Oh, we could even progress the lead and key nonsense here as well. Okay. We'll get to the chase eventually. We're kind of intrigued. How exactly did you come to be in your present state? Fedoran asking. In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughs. I was old, and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body, none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it will be in spite of our condition. Of that I am quite sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple, as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they are not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humour me and consult over some problem, but they are a jealous breed, and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Ah, right, and this sanitarium, what's it all about? A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come in here only concerned with cheating death in one way or another. We are an old institution, as Deerwood goes. This is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favoured souls came to populate its streets in droves. Thus, the Sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost to the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of the first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It's really quite a list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment, defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke. Ah, absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avar may be swayed by all this unrest. Irrational though it may be, we shall see. Okay. Cutting to the chase. First of all, asking about Modred. Modred? Of course, you will find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Easy enough. And of course somebody here will know about awakenings, but asking if there's a specific person who we should be seeking out? There's an animancer on the lower floor who'll come all the way from Ruva to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belisage. I don't know how we know this, but exclaiming that there may be a member of the Leaden Key here in the Sanitarium. Ethelmore groans and the stones around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it. Well, let's just say they have something I need. I hope it isn't knowledge you seek. They are seldom keen to part with it. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? Not really. But, everyone is to be dealt with in a suspicious manner. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their offices downstairs. You will report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. What the hell have we just picked up here? What's going on here? What's going on? Right, we need to find Belisage. And Modred is downstairs. The man who waits. Oh, so this is a place of misery and madness. I see. Misery and madness. Yes, there you go. One of the visions that we saw in the Temple of Wodica. Good job Fedoran's on the ball, isn't it?
Yeah?
No need to blow your own trumpet. Oh, this man's soul was torn asunder by a bioic. As you can see, the patient is unresponsive, common after soul trauma. The animancer places a stone upon the patient's forehead. A portion of his soul was recovered near his body. We use this stone as a vessel for transfer. Can you hear me, Oswin? The patient's eyes slowly open before a panicked, wild expression washes over him. Unfortunately, the extended dissociation has permanent side effects. The patient becomes more agitated, grunting and moaning as he tugs at his bonds. With further research, we are confident that we'll be able to rehabilitate patients like Oswin. An intriguing situation.
Hail and well met.
A bald man with a crooked nose gestures in demonstration over the still body of a patient who we've just seen. Have you come to sit in? Ah. So this is the interrogation. We're not interrogating anybody just yet. No, just passing through. Fare thee well for now. Oh, what? Right, okay. We'll speak to Belisage, we'll speak to Modred, and then we're going to go to the inn.
Hey.
We shall commence our investigations another time. So many things happening. And now we've got really creepy music.
Hey.
Ooh, a cruel ruler from the north has arrived at the stronghold. He hopes to gain an audience with the Lord Fedoran of Fedoran's Keep. Lord Fedoran is rather busy right now, unfortunately.
Hey.
Please leave a message after the tone. A soothing painting.
Hey.
Seems everything's happening downstairs. Wow.
Hey.
This place has a very eerie feel to it. A first room on the right, didn't he say? That would be this one, right? It would.
Hey.
Everybody's coming in, though. This place is creepy. Ah, sorry for the intrusion, good man.
Ready when you are.
I have come with questions. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Well met, friend.
Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. Does the name Helig mean anything? Modred starts. Helig? Is a colleague of mine. He was primarily a necromancer, but he was involved in animancy too. He worked at the Sanitarium for several years. I dare say everyone here has heard of him. Clears his throat. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian Republics. He leans forward. The advances they're making in animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. He coughs again. Perhaps you haven't? Do you know a woman named Rowena? No, I don't get out of the Sanitarium much. Okay, fine. About Helig. I'm afraid to say I heard a slightly different tale. He slides his spectacles down his nose. Just what are you insinuating? If this is your idea of a joke, I assure you it's in very poor taste. So, you didn't happen to sink a blade into his chest and dump him in the catacombs? Oh, he'll be relieved to hear it. Modred pales. How could... He sighs and runs a hand over his hair. Very well. Yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because nobody else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experiments, twisting healthy souls, torturing damaged ones. And for what? He flayed the essence from Glanfathan indigents for his amusement. He waves down the hall. If the public had known half of his deeds, they'd have razed this place to the ground. He jabs his finger on the desk. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick proclivities. He brought shame on all of us and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. He calms down and sizes you up. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. Oh, judge, jury, and executioner, aren't we? Helig said you stole a grimoire from him. Modred's brow furrows. His grimoire? What's that madman be telling you? I don't really want to give him the damn thing. Well, if you don't have it, where is it? We're just going to keep the key to ourselves for now. If I know Helig, this is his idea of a joke. Probably not one you or I would appreciate. If anything I have told you about him has sunk in, I beg you, return to the catacombs and slay him once and for all. That foul man will cause misery and pain as long as he's around. Okay, we're going to reveal the key. Oh, is this going to cause him to kick off? Yeah, I mean, we kind of believe this guy. From what we've seen of Helig, the necromancers around him, from what that woman told us outside, it all's beginning to make sense, making us think that Helig has to fall, that he had something to do with Rowena's soul lingering in the catacombs. We don't really want to cause problems here. He has something I need. I don't know what he's promised you, but he's already lied to you about the grimoire. I don't have it. If what I've told you about that evil, deceitful man hasn't swayed you, I don't know what else to say. He turns back to his papers. Trust him at your own peril. We could continue helping Helig, or we could return to the catacombs and finish what Modred started. The thing is, what's in the grimoire? I think if we try and get the grimoire, it's gonna kick off. And maybe he was just... But then we kind of want to get both sides of the story. We kind of want to see what's in the grimoire. There may be some spells in there that Fedoran can use.
Well met, friend.
Right, we're going to continue questioning this man about the whole situation, see if anything else crops up. Bit of... So what you're saying is that you killed him to save your own reputation. Modred snorts. The reputation of the whole discipline, rather. You realise there are groups in this city looking for an excuse to have us all hanged? He shakes his head. I won't see the knowledge we've worked so hard for lost because of one man's madness. Okay. But stabbing him in his sleep? I suppose it's the only way to go about it. I don't flippin' know. I see. I see. Do you know what?
Ready when you are.
I think we'll just help ourselves to the chest and have done with it. No need for lies and tales. We'll just see for ourselves.
Not a problem.
In the corner of Modred's lab rests a large weathered trunk. It seems likely to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. Do you know what? What if there's not a grimoire in here? What if there's something like, I don't know, some kind of monster? Some kind of evil soul? Some kind of evil being? I'm going to examine it more closely. Nothing grabs your attention except for the large padlock on the front. Whatever this animancer keeps in here, he does not want anyone else to have or see. Oh, Jesus. This is terrible. All for Doran's curiosity. Getting the better of him here, but I really don't think we want to risk unleashing holy hell. Either this chap's going to kick off with us, and we have just come here, we've got things to do here, or there's going to be something really bad in here that's going to be unleashed. I just think we let sleeping dogs lie. Helig is going to have to die.
Hey.
That's the only solution. Sorry to disturb you, good man.
Hey.
I shall return later. I will have more questions regarding something completely different. Right. Now, where is Bella Sage? Ah.
Ready when you are.
What very bright clothing you have.
Hail and well met.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Ikosi! Here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kith standing in front of me. What can I do? Oh, taken aback. A very strange greeting. Looking for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. Ah, that would be me. Though the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer right here. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Gellard? Who is it? Aloth's lip curls into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You Adarians are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humourless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastens thick copper bands to Aloth's forehead and wrists. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Isilmia more? I like that lady, says Adair. She raises a finger. But first we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sagani pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hurt any of it. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in the Seathwood. He looks to you, his face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension show through nevertheless. You told me a little bit about your parents, says Fedoran. Talk about them. As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mists of his own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes. Mother is away most of the time, with the Thane's family, but I always know when she is coming home. Father's bottles accumulate like storm clouds on the horizon. His fits of temper become swifter and more violent. It still shames him, knowing that her heimneg to another man supports us better than his labours as a steward. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I'm in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am sweeping the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madico! Belisage furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it, quickly. I almost have it. Shaking him by the shoulders. Aloth, you've got to wake up. Aloth's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. You scuttled him off. A wilting daisy, that one. Belisage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ire. That warm molasses feeling that creeps down your gut when crisis is nigh. Belfetto, we have flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Aloth, ask Isilmir what she's doing. Aloth's face twists in fury. Sticking weed, worming parasite. He bursts into sudden laughter. You'd say the same to your own kindled twig when it betrays you. Tear grins. Must be hard to avoid knowing there's a lady in your body the whole time judging you. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist, quill still in hand. Go on! Aloth, what's this about ceding space to Isilmir? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. You should ask what I did that old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Nay, it was the awakening. But now I'm stuck with you, and damned if I let your ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Ah, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I've finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isilmir's essence throughout the exchange. She had a particularly high-density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seemed to localise most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aloth blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Sagani's eyes are wide and innocent. It does seem as though she's got one thing right. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of trading. I suppose you have a better explanation? Let me see. Using my powers as a watcher, what do I think? Removing his spleen could cure him, really? I don't think we're going to suggest that just yet, but it does seem to manifest when Aloth is in danger or under pressure. In the Temple of Wodica, when confronted by those drunks. Belisage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. So Isilmir tries to take control from you when she thinks that you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions. Yes, exactly, getting him into trouble. My thoughts exactly. I'll have to be more careful about her from now on. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Fedoran. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on the desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Revua, Fentre Aloth. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principles of animancy, just what you've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. Don't bring me into this. You do whatever you wish to do. It's your story, it's your tales. I'll leave it in your hands. He hides the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. We'll see to this on our own. Ooh. Okay, I wonder if this may crop up again later.
Hey.
Right, it's been a long session. I don't know how long it's been, but it's going to have to be split into no doubt 2, which is perfectly fine because I'm going to Portugal for a stag do on Friday until Monday, and therefore could do with a backlog of sessions to keep you occupied whilst I'm gone.
Hey.
Right. So we're going to head to the inn now. Time is ticking away. It's not quite evening, but it's been a long day. We've almost been killed, as Fedoran would put it, by Captain Emery after falling into a trap, costing us 2,500 copper pounds, but we're still alive, thankfully. And we found the Sanitarium, where we are to conduct an investigation into a possible leaden key agent. We have a quandary in relation to help her or not.
Hey.
With the book that she's after from the Hall of Mysteries. There's an open bloody window that's drawing us in. There's this whole situation with Helig, which we are now deciding that we are going to leave the trunk locked and just slay the man who is obviously a nutter, a necromancer, and a flesh-eating moron. So yeah, lots to think about over a strong ale, I think.
Hey.
Nothing like the allure of a well-kept inn when you've had a stressful day. Of course, we've got some levelling up to do as well. So lots to get caught up with next time. So to finish off, we're going to see what on earth the quality of the rooms are like here.
Hello.
Criminals get away, or nobles stay. Is there any question? It's the night of the nobles. So join me next time when we shall head out. And I have not got the foggiest clue what we're going to do.
Not a problem.
So much to do. We'll think of something. Maybe you could offer your suggestions. Who knows? But until next time, see you soon.